I am here today with Tyler McCann from the Beef Roundup that's happening in Wyoming in August. So my experience as being on a strict carnivore diet for the last 3.5 years, because it has changed my life and it has helped me heal from chronic late stage Lyme disease. And from this journey, I became a holistic health practitioner specializing in the Lyme diet, histamine issues, mast cell activation syndrome, and all of the autoimmune conditions that occur with chronic illnesses. So, Tyler, I am so excited to join you in this beef roundup in Wyoming. It sounds like a dream come true for us carnivores, especially those of us who love beef. So tell us about what this event is about.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, the carnivore community has really embraced it. Like literally every day, we're getting more people wanting to sponsor and be speakers, and we've already decided. I just had a committee meeting earlier today that next year will be 2 days, and so we're literally outgrowing every footprint that we've had, and so we just keep expanding and adding the carnivore community into the fold has really made a huge difference. But ultimately, we started the Beef Roundup. This will be our 5th year, and it is to celebrate all things beef and particularly beef producers. We wanted, there really wasn't anything around the country that was geared towards just the flavor of beef. And you look at any other industry and there's some sort of tasting event, whether it was beer and wine, those ones are, typically what you see more. There's cheese festivals, everything in all of these big industries, they have some sort of award for flavor and recognition to the people that are producing that. And there really wasn't anything like that for beef. So, one day I told my wife, I said, I think we need to do the best beef in Wyoming competition. And, I think she wonders now whether or not she should have agreed with me or not, but she agreed. And so the first year we had the best beef in Wyoming competition, and we did very well. We had 8 ranches from around the state that all put in the same cut of beef, and within just a couple of days of having completed it, then my daughter is trying to jump in on our conversation. Okay,
Hello.
That's Ari.
Hi,
Okay,
Ari.
so you got to get in your class, kid. Yeah, so just within the first day or two after the event last year, or the first year, we had producers from other states that contacted us. There was a couple of news articles and some, social media posts that went out, and people that had attended it shared. And these other producers all said, how can we be part of this? Like, we want to compete. This is so cool. We don't know how you're getting this done in your state. We don't feel like we could get it done in our state. And so immediately the second year we had an open division, and it was for beef producers from out of the state. And so it's just continued to grow from there. This year we have the regenerative beef that you will be a part of judging on that regenerative side.
So
And
excited.
yeah, in fact, Jake Stakes, he was there today at our committee meeting, and he's got a couple more producers involved in that category already. So it's growing really quickly. I think we already have over a dozen producers in the regenerative. So we have the best beef in Wyoming, and you have to buy a VIP ticket to that. But if you, as a VIP ticket holder, will get a 1-ounce serving from each of the 10 different Wyoming ranches. We cook it's a New York strip. We cook it all exactly the same. And, then you get a little card, and it has some prompts on it as to, like, we try not to get it so in depth that people get bogged down, but you like what you like. And so you get a little, smell, taste, texture, those kind of things that we kind of hit, so you can keep track of your score. But yeah, so we've got the open division, the regenerative division. We did food trucks last year, so we did the best food truck in Wyoming. And this year, their little thing that they have to produce, is a carnivore dish. So they are trying to do the best carnivore dish. And then the best beef in Wyoming is kind of the end of the day at the VIP dinner. So it's really become a lot of fun.
This is amazing. Sounds like we are all going to be leaving very well fed and very happy.
Yeah, if you leave hungry, it's totally your own fault.
Exactly.
There's a lot of food around, and and that's part of, I'm excited to have you there. We're going to make a more conscious effort next year as well to, produce some food that's very safe for everyone. So we will try, and we're going to learn a lot from you this year. We're going to have you walk us through it and,
Yes.
make sure that we can cater to some of that and, one, learn kind of what some of those restrictions are and where we can improve. And then hopefully we can develop a whole area next year that will, be safe for people that do have some, um, different reactions to different food restrictions as well.
No, I think that's so wonderful. And honestly, I'm so grateful that we connected and we got to talk about this and that you held space for me to share about my own chronic conditions. And I know that I'm not alone in that. And also going through this journey with chronic conditions, especially starting since I was a kid, food allergies and food sensitivities have just been part of my journey my entire life. And, but it didn't really get significantly worse until about 3.5 years ago when I found out that I had Lyme disease, and I found out that I had Lyme for over 30 years. And I had started my holistic health practice about 10 years ago. And it was wild to me that everything that I had studied and learned and understood and was using in my toolbox to help me get well wasn't getting me well anymore. And it was really just the carnivore diet came to me as a default because I was the only beef and like ruminant meat, such as lamb and goat and veal and venison, were the only meats that and the only real foods that I was able to eat without having a reaction. And that's how I learned about the carnivore community and Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chafee, and all these other carnivore enthusiasts and carnivores that have been doing this diet, for many years. Because I was predominantly plant-based and I just really believed in that until I learned more about mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance. And, it looks like, unfortunately, that disease, like just in general, just having a histamine intolerance and mast cell activation syndrome can look different for every single body. So I had made it my mission to, call around when I was with my journey, I was like calling around to different farms across the country, seeing if they had meat that wasn't aged and was looking for, the best ways of cooking. And when, you can no longer even tolerate pepper and you're just down to like certain types of salts, like such as like Celtic salt or Redmond salt, something like, some very high trace mineral salts were really the only thing I could consume. It really, really changed my life. And when I really honed in on that and started to learn how to cook my food efficiently with, using the best practices to keep my meat low histamine, because it's not just the meat, it's how you cook it. It's the cooking practices. It's everything. So that really changed my life and really helped me go back, dying to thriving. And so
Yeah.
it's just an honor to get to be at your event and get to showcase just some of the cooking techniques that I have used to help me and also share with the community that's there that might also be struggling, and to share that compassion and empathy with those who might want to attend this event but might be feeling scared to come because of their own sensitivities and not feeling like they'll be understood, or fearing that cross contamination. That's my biggest fear. That's why I never went to an event, because I was always afraid, well, it's not so much the food, but what if they cook it on a grill that's that something else was cooking on that I'm allergic to and I have a reaction? Or what if somebody uses the wrong cooking utensils on my meat? Or what if somebody accidentally puts a seasoning on my meat that I can't have? There's so many worries that go on in our minds just because we've had so many reactions. So I'm really excited to support the community while I'm there and making sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible.
Well, yeah, I know when I heard your story, I thought, my goodness, I couldn't believe how strong you were to persevere through all of that. And, to kind of go against everything that you were hearing and all the different narratives and come out the other side better. I thought,
Thank
man,
you.
yeah, so
Thank you
that
so
is
much.
very, very inspirational to me. And I thought, you know, if I'm connecting with someone like yourself, we need to make sure that other beef producers understand that there is a need for that. And I think it's so cool that beef was actually part of the cure.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
how
It was
cool
the
was that?
medicine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think tying the two together is just so cool. And so I think we'll really be able to kind of forge some new ground and build some new relationships. Because I know if I understand it better, we can do some marketing that way as well. And so there's got to be a lot of other producers that are in the same boat, and hopefully there'll be some other people that are having some of those reactions that we can help and give them some options to deal with what they're dealing with a lot better. So I think it's going to be really neat. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what's going to happen. Like it could be a crazy reaction there.
Yes. No, I'm really excited, and especially because as a practitioner, and I work with a lot of clients that struggle with histamine intolerance and are struggling just being able to incorporate, like some of them can't even eat red meat anymore, but they are slowly adding it back into their diet. And a lot of them is just, it's not so much that they can't eat red meat, but they can't eat it because maybe it's been aged too long or it's hung too long or the cow wasn't eating the right food. Some of them just, some people are just really sensitive. And so I've made it my mission. It's kind of like I've turned my pain into purpose in every way possible. So I love finding other pharmacies, that's what I call farms, and my pharmacies, where can I get the best medicine
Yeah.
for myself, but also my clients? Well, because I feel like there needs to be more than just one or two options in this country. And as far as I have found, for me, I've only really found maybe one or two farms that have been able to produce some really great low histamine options in their meat.
I think that'll be a good thing for, and that's what I tell consumers is that you need to visit with why someone is raising their whatever, whether it's pork, beef, goat, lamb. Um, you need to visit with them about why they're producing it the way they're producing it. We're in a lot of the agriculture around us is beer barley, and when they test that barley, they take it about 2 hours north of us, and there's a train station there, and it's a lot of it goes to Coors, and so they put it on the train there, and then it goes down to Golden for beer. And so they're testing all of these loads, these truckloads of barley that come in. And if they're too high in protein, it makes the beer froth too much. And so they reject those loads. Well, they've already got it all loaded, and they need a place to go with it. So that ends up being a lot of what we feed to our cattle, because it is a good way for us to use up that resource. And so, and our cattle are always outside. They're never in a feedlot. They're always out grazing on green grass, but we do supplement them with grain. And that's our reason for it. Because the area that we're in, it's very much in demand to have grain finished beef. And so that was kind of how we could connect with the most people when we started our business. And so I think what we'll see happen from all of this is that, there may be producers that are struggling because of one particular circumstance or another, and they're maybe not fitting in. Maybe they can utilize what they have in their area better and produce something that could market directly to this community.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, so and I don't know that it's going to be a fit for me just because of our location and stuff. Where it's so difficult to ship meat out of Wyoming. We have there are several resources, and we'll go through all of that while you're here. We're going to do the farm tour, the ranch tour on the 23rd, and the beef roundup is on the 24th, and then we're calling it the after party.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Sean O'Mara, Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, Jake Thomas from Life Like Jake, Simon Lewis from How to Carnivore, yourself, Courtney Luna. I mean, the list just keeps growing. Like I know, I guarantee you, I forgot some people. The list just keeps growing, but everybody just comes out to the farm and we hang out. I know Courtney Luna wants to have her kids learn how to milk a cow, so we're gonna get one of the Jersey cows up and milk. But yeah, like I say, we're there's challenges in every area for producers. And if this could be a market to where if someone were in a really good place to be doing some shipping, and getting connected with you and knowing that there is a demand out there, it may just be an instant switch for someone in a different scenario than what I have. And it may be a game changer for their farm or for their ranch to be able to have access and know that they would have that really steady business. So I just think it's neat to see, even if it's not a perfect fit for me and my business, it may be just gas on a fire for somebody else's business. So I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited too, and I'm so excited to meet all of their producers and to try their meat. I'm so excited to be speaking and
Yeah.
cooking, and I mean, just this just sounds like it's going to be such a special event. I can just feel it, and I am so excited to meet other people who and hear their stories and just share stories. I think that's the most incredible part of this community is that we all have such a special and unique story that brought us to this diet. And the amount of healing that we have all received from it is just monumental. And it's,
Yeah.
and we have and it's like to get to talk to a producer such as yourself who takes so much pride in their cattle and their practice. It's makes it even more special because I think that everybody should go and interview a farmer, a rancher, or just go visit a farm or a ranch because it's really important to know what exactly goes into producing your meat. And so this is going to be such a life-changing experience for myself and for many other people that come to this event.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a first generation rancher. I married a fifth generation rancher, and you saw the sixth generation running around back there for a bit.
Yeah.
And so I understand that, I tell my wife that pretty regularly is that, not everybody grew up on a 100,000 acre cattle ranch in the middle of nowhere.
100,000 acres? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's like one pasture for us.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. I
So,
mean, wow. I could see like 100 acres,
yeah.
100,000. Holy moly. Oh my God. I'm like even more excited to see your ranch now. I'm just, wow.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like sticking your toe in the ocean for the first time.
Yeah.
Um, when you get out there, and that's part of the challenges that we have is the vastness. We get less than 9 inches of rain a year. And on average, we also have wild horses. I think I sent you some pictures of the wild horses the one day.
You did. You did.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So there's a lot of challenges that way, but, like you say, I love David Asher's book, The Art of Natural Cheese Making. That's kind of my hobby. And in the introduction to it, he talks about us being relegated to, producers and consumers rather than just being a part of our food system. And I really enjoy that. I really see the value in that. And not everyone can raise a cow in their backyard. Maybe you can only have a chicken or two, and do any of that you can to be part of your food production. If you, and so we're very fortunate that we can run 600 or 800 cows in our backyard. So, but it isn't going to be for everybody. And so, like you're saying, if you can go, and maybe it's a situation where somebody's just raising some goats and some lamb, like you're saying, go and get involved in that. I guarantee you, there's some time that they could use some help. So if even just like packing a bag of grain in or something, it's going to be a huge help. Um, but knowing where it's coming from and why they're doing the things that they're doing is it answers so many questions in your own mind. And it gives you that like, wow, I am really, I'm so much more informed than just going and picking up the plastic wrap thing in the cold section of the grocery store. It really shifts gears in your mind.
Oh, absolutely. You feel so much more connected. It's not just for the animal, but you feel connected to the land. You feel connected to the animal. You feel connected to the farmer, the rancher that grew the animal. And
Yeah.
I think it truly is like a circle of life, you know? So I
Yeah.
think that is so special. And I'm just, I'm so honored to get to experience that in August at your ranch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it. And, um, ultimately, as much fun as it is to host a big party, and that is the fun part, it's a scholarship program. And so some of the money that we raise, not having been born into ranching or agriculture, we are trying to raise money for scholarships. And the first scholarship that we fund is meat sciences. And, COVID really exposed that for our entire industry. that we desperately need more butchers. Um, and so if there's any young people that are wanting to get into that, we want to see them have a really easy entry into that. And the place where we host this, on the 24th, it's our community college. And I've said it a bunch of times. Like, I think a lot of people think an office building when they say community college. Our community college is a fully accredited agriculture school. They have a few 4-year programs as well, but they have everything from regenerative farming practice. They have an entire regenerative farm on the premise. And then they also have a completely accredited USDA processing facility. It's in the building where we host this. And so, we're working out the details. I can't promise that you'll get to see meat cut that day, but that's the idea. We are going to cut some meat on Friday, and then we'll have some of that. I think that's kind of where we're at right now, is that during the tours on Saturday, you'll get to see some of the meat process. You will get to see what a half a beef looks like hanging in the cooler. There's
Very cool.
yeah, since it's a teaching facility, they have some windows all throughout to where you can get right up close to see where those rails are and stuff. So you'll be able to stand within a couple feet of a half a beef and see what that looks like. And we'll talk people through some of the different cuts. So, yeah, it's neat to see that, we'll be able to be making some positive effect there as well.
Well, that is so incredible. And what an incredible event this is going to be. I think we're going to learn so much. There's so much more to meat than we can think about. Most people just go to the store and they buy it. And you are going to be getting us like a whole deep dive experience on,
Yeah.
and, from everything from consuming to raising the cattle, consuming the product, like butchering it. It's going to be a very spiritual experience. And I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everybody to experience this too. But we're just about out of time. Is there anything you'd like to, last minute words or anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, Riverton, Wyoming is not on the way to anywhere. You have to want to get here.
Yeah.
So I'm really appreciative of all these people coming, from all over the country, and would love to have more people come. So if you can, go to beefroundup.com, and there's still some VIP tickets left that gets you into the all Wyoming beef dinner, and you get to be the judge. And there will be free samples all throughout the day. There's going to be some cooking demonstrations. We have great sponsors like Pluck, James Berry from Pluck. He's going to do some of the cooking with his seasonings. Camp Chef Grills, they're providing us with a ton of grills. So it's really an amazing setup. And if you can make it out, we would love to have you there. General admission is free. So if you just want to come and hang out, it's totally free. If you really want the deep dive and you want to do the ranch tour and hang out with you and I and Dr. Anthony Chafee, like, I'm going to make him get the gates. When we get to the ranch, I'm making Chafee open all the gates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's good. Yeah. So,
Totally.
but yeah, if you want to do the really deep dive, we did the Ultimate Carnivore Pass. There are just a few of those left, but you'll just basically be hanging out with us for the 3 days, and you will get to go see everything in depth. So there's still some of those left. If you can't make it, go on beefroundup.com. We're putting more of the merchandise up every day. I still got to send your shirt out. I know you want you're getting the Can't Do Beef, Can't Do Me t-shirt.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have a lot of fun merchandise, and, a portion of that goes back to the scholarship as well. So if you can't make it, buy a shirt, buy a hat, get a bumper sticker or something, and, start planning your trip for next year.
Absolutely. Are there any social media accounts that people can follow you on?
Yeah. So, we're trying to build up Beef Roundup on Instagram as big as we can get it. So help us share posts, tag people. We'll probably do a couple of giveaways through there as well, but Beef Roundup on Instagram. And then, it's still Rendezvous City Beef Roundup on Facebook. And, we'll be, from now until the day of, we just keep ramping it up. We'll put out more and more posts every day. They'll have a little bit of the merchandise. They'll have the schedule, and we'll get some maps out for parking and things like that. But yeah, and then we'll get to share like some of this content. We'll get to share some of how to carnivore. And Dr. Anthony Chafee, Elle, she wants to share some. Courtney Luna's going to help us out. So yeah, you'll get. It's going to be really fun. Like the next 7 weeks are going to just be awesome.
Yes, I'm so excited to be connecting with everybody that's coming and cooking alongside them, sharing alongside them. It's just going to be so much fun. And Tyler, thank you so much for allowing me to come and be a part of this spectacular event. I hope everybody goes and buys a ticket and comes out. And I just can't wait to eat steak. I can't wait to eat steak with you all. I really can't. It's going to be amazing.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to meeting you in person. And I look forward to meeting everybody as well. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
Take care.
Thank you so much. You too.